Check 1. Syphilis. Syphilis. Check 2. Syphilis. Syphilis. Oh. I am exhausted. Fucker!
Son of a bitch!
Quit playing with your dinghy.
Don't laugh at me.
Oh my God.
Hector gets a point.
Fucker.
My feet don't fail me down.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.
I can feel it down in my plums.
Get your hand off my penis!
That's not my hand. Welcome in. Welcome in. Oh, goddamn right, I never got a good faith offer from you. You never made a good faith offer. Bad faith, Maddie. Bad faith. It never will. See, that's why we can't do business. That's why we can't do business. Bad faith. I know. I could tell. I could tell you're just a bad faith actor. Anyway.
I said good day!
Hi, hi, Zach Nita. This one's getting real weird. Ah, fuck me. Son of a bitch. Give me... I gotta move around shit. I guess where I was sitting before when I was looking at this, wasn't what I see here, so I gotta move around my mannequin. Hopefully this... Sorry. Good. Okay, that's more like it. Okay. Hi, Monica. Getting real weird. All right, here. You guys can see it if you want. Oh. Here, I'm going to try and give you my angle as much as possible. This is probably close to the angle of the painting. Something like that. I really liked, what was it? Stoic's idea? Stoic's idea of, doing a triptych with this. A triptych. Hi, Omizu. I can do it enough, Maddie, because it's not like I have to look at colors and stuff, so it's just shape and form. So, I'm not too concerned. So, Stoic came up with the idea, Aka, of doing a painting that goes with this one, with the perverts, with Kevin maybe holding a camera, and the Stephen Miller character, in like a, you know, a combination painting for this one. And I could probably do more. What do you mean? I don't even know what that means. Because, all right, here's the thing, right? I like the idea of having the perverts in the painting with the silver spoon, but it just never looked good enough to me. Tip tricks are for kids. So now we can do like this painting, and then we can do the cuck painting, and maybe do something else with it too. I had some ideas. Well, the cuck's in the corner and the silver spoon. All right. What does going all Francis Bacon mean? What did Francis Bacon do, M? Is he a triptych guy? Oh, did he? I mean, it's not something I'm actively going for. It just works in this case. You know? Well, we could do more perverts. We could do more perverts, or it's, what is it? Is it two a diptych? What's the word for two? Just doing this part of the setup. Made many triptychs? Okay. When was Francis Bacon? It is a diptych? Okay. Then it's either a diptych or a triptych. If I feel compelled to do something on the third. I've been just like, I woke up today and I've just been doing shit. I had to cook something that took a while. I had to work on the setting and this lighting again. Because there's like always something that was annoying, so I just like, it's literally been like 3.5 hours of just straight doing shit. And now we paint. This is the part of the day where we paint. Alright. Oh, there's gonna be crying. There's gonna be lots of crying, Monica. Very Aka. Alright. Both my shoulders. I woke up with both my shoulders tight. Even though my right shoulder is the shitty one. But my left one was like, it was not pain, just tight. I have done yoga for periods of time in my life. It never helped with any of that stuff. It was just more of a workout. Good, Monica, good. You're doing your part. How out of focus is this? It's probably not going to focus on my hand until I get closer to the canvas, so. Irregardless, this is a 36 by 24, which is roughly a 60 by 90 centimeter. Okay? For all you non-Americans. Alright? All you non-Americans. Let's get the paint out. So we're just gonna be doing the block in today, I think. Jeez. Oh my god. Everything has been super annoying today. Because I got all these lights everywhere. I got like shit lying everywhere for like possibly doing shit with the setup. So like today I was like tripping over shit, knocking shit over, stuff moving because it's not like set up like robustly enough. So it's been a very frustrating day. I had to use my normal microphone stand for this new spotlight because it was for reasons is like the only thing that worked with it. And so then I had to figure out something to put my mic on. No, there's plenty of non-Americans in here, Monica. But I still give the metrics. I still give the metrics. All right. Okay. That hurt. There's also Sir Francis Bacon, who served King James I as the Chancellor. So there's multiple Francis Bacons, huh? Who was the big anti-slavery Bacon guy in the United States? Who's Kevin Bacon? All right. I have no idea who you're talking about. Oh my God! Leonard Beck? What the fuck is Leonard Beck? Yes, Kevin Bacon is a star. Footloose. He's in some X-Men. He's been in so many fucking things. He's in the OG Friday the 13th. You could see his penis in Hollow Man. He was married to another famous actress who I forget her name. Reverend Leonard Bacon. Okay. That's the one with a movie about it, right, Omizu? The one with McConaughey. All right. Our palette is as follows for the day. Kira Sedgwick. Yep. Yeah, what was the name of that show? That show was on for a long time. Like a really long time. It was like a movie like all of our parents or like our moms watched. God, what the fuck was the name of that show? Was it like Madam Secretary or something like that? My mom did too. That's the thing, Mutt. That's why I bring it up. It was like a show I didn't know much about, but it had like, I thought it had like 15 seasons or something like that. Okay. Oh, it was The Closer. Okay. All right. Palette is titanium white, lead white, bismuth vanadate, yellow lemon, pyrrole red, quinacridone magenta, ultramarine blue, phthalo blue, burnt umber, which I didn't bring out, and I'm going to put it in ivory black because we got a lot of black-ish colors in the shadows. 7 seasons? Okay. All right, then I was off on both. Hi, Pickles. That's the name of the movie, Omizu? Okay. I'm just hitting everything today, and it's pissing me off. probably don't need a lot of white today. Yep, okay. I've seen some clips of that on, like, reels and shit. Oh, did he? Well, I saw they actually dressed up Hakuho. Hakuho actually, like, went in his, was it Omawashi? I don't know if he actually wrestled. He might have done some, like, you know, things with the kids, but it was so cute. I love seeing, like, the kids who were really, like, pissed off. It was great. Hi, Pen Man. I think I saw some other wrestlers there, though, too. Mud. So I think, like, I'm surprised, though, that, was it the JRA would allow them to do? But maybe it's just completely outside, you know, that they can't really... It might open up a can of worms if they did. I saw a few kids show some emotions, and I like, if you didn't know, I think you probably know, Mud, like, Hakuho was, like, one of the more emotional wrestlers. And, so, like, it seemed like they were allowing people to be more intense. Which I'm all for. I saw a kid with a mohawk. A lot of good stick bugs. Oh, really? Okay. I get, though, with kids a little bit more than adults, but I still think you should be able to. I understand it can get obnoxious quick. Oh, gotcha. God, kids' sports are hilarious. Yeah. I did, like, I saw, like, because Hakuho was straight up just watching one of the rings, which I liked, and he seemed to really be enjoying himself, which I liked. My sweet love. All right. All right. Yeah, right. So everybody, we're going to start getting real weird with this one. This might become a diptych or a triptych. Who knows? All right. So one thing I'm going to do, because this is a problem I've had with Ivory Black, at least the one I made, is we're going to add some stand oil to the black and the red. on its own. It's even weirder, Pickles. It's even weirder. Then we're gonna mix them with oil. So, stand oil helps with sinking in or drawing matte issues. And it seems like my ivory black I should have made with, or this one that I've been using, I should have made with more stand oil than I did. Well, I could do the right side of this one. But I kind of want to leave that maybe more mysterious, but just let, you know, stuff on the right side or above. Those are the cute mansion Discord. Oh, that's awesome. Hello, Carlos. All right, 15. All right, we're starting to get there. You're starting to get there. Some people would be satisfied with 15. All right? Some people would. I'm probably gonna. Probably put out even too much blue for this one because I just can't see myself using that much blue, but we'll see. So, Maddie, I'm definitely doing 2. I'm definitely doing 2. I just don't know what I would do for a third. So right now we're at a diptych. A diptych. All right. Paint is prepped. Dick tip. Diptych. That's what I'll call it. Oh, and some other news. Okay, so I officially have my first art festival scheduled. So far, one of my 6 applications got back to me. So everybody is going to have to travel to this site in support. Okay? You're all gonna get your flights now. All right? You're all gonna have to come. All right? So order your... Get your plane tickets. No, it's on a day you're not busy. I checked. Thank you, Snark. Thank you, Monica. I hope I get... I think there's only one that I don't think I'll get that I applied to. But the first email came in. Yep. So you all get... It's on July 11th and 12th. Okay. So everybody get your plane tickets now. I will not. No, you got to pay for that, and you have to buy a minimum 2 paintings. But it's all mandatory. It's all mandatory. It's, minimum 2 paintings at my art fair prices, mind you. So, start saving up for that now, everybody. Then you're gonna have to drive, Pen Man. And it's in the nice suburb of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The Whitefish Bay Art Fair. The Whitefish Bay Art Fair. It's in a very nice suburb of Milwaukee, just north, like on Lake Michigan. So everybody, get your plane tickets now. You all have to attend. Good, Monica, good. Yeah, if you need to sell Kenny, do it, because also that you'll have to go to the other art fairs too. You'll have to fly to the other art fairs as well. Wisconsin's a big drinking town. I lived in Wisconsin. I went to college in Wisconsin at Marquette University in Milwaukee. So that's partly why I applied to this. I like Milwaukee a lot as a city. I like Milwaukee quite a bit as a city. Yeah, it's just getting in, but, I need to start doing them. And I'm gonna have to probably explain why my Instagram's called why my paints are called badly made paints, and my Instagram is just called badly. I'm painting badly. So I'm already mentally preparing myself to have about like 40 of those, 50 of those conversations. Oh, I'm not reband. This is where I double and triple down, Monica. Just don't explain it. Could do that. Stay toxic. Hey, part of my goal here, Monica, is to what's the right word? Show everybody how fucking weird the art industry is, and I'd say shallow. I think that's incredibly overblown, Snark. Wisconsin is not even close to that. Tell that person to go to like a real rural state. Like, I felt like Iowa was Mars at times. Oh, Mizu can probably put some light on that too. Who are you trying to show? Well, I'm just gonna be bringing my paintings and paint. Oklahoma. I mean, pretty much, I would imagine most like deep southern states would be like Mars, Snark. I couldn't imagine living in a state like Alabama or like Mississippi. There's like, of course there might be certain spots there, but boy. Oklahoma, Wyoming, Utah. Yeah, I think that's kind of the thing, Monica, right? The major cities, but like living in Austin or Dallas or Houston in Texas would be fine, but you're still gonna get a lot of those a-holes that make it weird, But Oklahoma, man, Oklahoma's big cities aren't big enough to overcome that, Tulsa is kind of close. Yeah, the burbs in those places have to be a nightmare. Yeah, Wisconsin, I'm telling you, Snark, I know Milwaukee and the suburbs in Madison, and basically the entire southern part of Wisconsin is completely fine. Yeah. Well, that's what you get in a lot of southern states, especially. It's not quite Branson, Missouri. Yeah, true. Missouri might be one of the weirdest states. All right, we got oil. So this is linseed oil mixed with some stand oil. And that's all we're going to use for our medium on the block end, okay? And I don't have... How do I want to do this? Where the fuck did I put that little bastard? Well, I didn't cut out... a viewfinder. Find your people, make it fun for yourself. Name of the city is irrelevant if you make it work for yourself. I mean, it's very true, Monica, but you also don't want your city and state to actively work against you in your own interests. Right? So, for example, right, a lot of southern cities, you know, do quite a things to make life miserable from people from certain communities. Things like that. But the one benefit is going there is to help with and advocate and, you know, help with that type of movement. Socially, at least. I largely agree with that, Penman. Plus, you know, Texas is a state that's probably going to go through some very bad ecological issues between all the oil drilling, the fracking, also just increased weather issues. And then so that would be a state that would probably be, even though I could find places I'd be definitely comfortable in Texas. I hate the weather, but I think that state is really poised for some bad issues with its area relative to like weather and its infrastructure. Are you in like West Virginia, Snark? I mean, yes, I think you're correct in that, like, you know, statement. Oh, you're in Norway? Yeah, I didn't think you were in America. Tells me you're going to be the hit of the town and be in the newspaper. Who knows, Penman? All right. All right, I don't have a viewfinder. I could probably make one quickly. I might, Penman. I'll be the most corrupt mayor of all time. I kind of want a viewfinder for this. I had this on the ground. This is a square one. I could eyeball this. I can measure with the tape. 1, 2. So it's... So that's what I would need to do. Selling contract paints, pigments, exactly. So that's now 3. So it would just be like that. Alright, it's a little small, but we'll make it work. Jesus Christ. Okay. We got good enough viewfinder. All right. that. Yep. Okay. We got it. It is done. Hi, Drew Holt. Bring in more. Maybe I'll become the mayor of Sheboygan, Wisconsin, and kick out the RNC. Who wouldn't want to live in the great city of Sheboygan, Wisconsin? Thank you, Snark. Done. Oh, what a tough painting, everybody. Who wants it? $3 billion. Who wants it? $3 billion. Oh, of course, man. Of course, Monica. How many of those videos have you watched, by the way? Too many? Yeah, I've probably watched like 6 of them. Oh, I had another really good thing happen to me today, everybody. It was really something really great happened to me today. I was so happy this happened. You wouldn't believe how awesome this was. You would not believe it, everybody. Oh my God, Chewy, who would see that? You're sick. You're sick, Chewy. Who would ever see that? Oh my God. Oh my God. But yes, it is. It is Chewy. My easel broke today, everybody. My easel broke today. My newer easel fucking broke today. Not in a horrendous way. As you can see, I'm still using it. But in a fairly annoying way. The easel's not even a year old. Yep. I got it in like... show you. See that duct tape? And see that wooden thing? There's a hole in there where a screw goes in that connects to the other part that you clamp down to stabilize your painting. Okay? That thread that screws into stripped. So this knob... well, so that shit would fall off without it. Well, I'm not fine. It works out fine because I have weight to keep this painting, and it's a Meeden Omizu, M-E-E-D-E-N. So this knob used to go into that thing and connect to the backside where there was a metal thread, but that's stripped out, so this kept on falling out. So yeah, needing to be fixed. True, Omizu. Hi, Life with Janie. Welcome in. Janie, if you have any questions, please let me know. So it's a really frustrating break, to be honest. I don't have the tools, Maddie. I'd have to drill out the hole, rethread it, or put another, like, housing in there. There are some other headaches with it, but I don't have the tools to do what needs to be done. Is that what you had to do with it, Janie? Oh! Hi, Jane. Sneak attacking me. Yeah, it's a really frustrating break. Especially when I don't know if I'd have to pay for anything for it. If I could get the parts for free, I'll fucking do it. But if it's like, if they're gonna try and charge my ass like $50 for something, I'm not gonna fucking do it when, like, you know. It's really fucking stupid. I mean, I haven't even had the thing for a year. Yeah, the thread does, yeah. Which it shouldn't. Yeah, that seems annoying. Maybe. I could just leave a scathing review. I mean, how many paintings have I done on this thing already? Like 50 to 60? Am I just gonna have to get a new easel? I don't know. It just sucks that the easel I want is probably $2,000. Probably $1,000 minimum for the easel that I want. Is that where this shit is at? Some might upstate, but I doubt that this one does. There's also some another, like, I'll say this, I wouldn't recommend this easel. And I probably would have said that before this happened. So there's some counterweight easels, Schmuckleberry. So the big issue with a lot of easels, even with H-frames, is that they only have one point of pressure on the center, up and down, or they don't usually provide a constant base and top of force to keep things steady. So they have ones that actually have weights and a pulley system that provide a very sturdy surface. I also don't like how there's overhang on the canvas, so I want ones that have a better shelf to put stuff on. So basically sturdier, a better pulley system to move the painting up and down, and more consistent pressure across the width of the top and bottom. So with those, like I said, the counterweight ones that are also large enough, mind you, Schmuckleberry, because I want to work even bigger than this. But the other aspect of this is if I could afford to go to a place or find a place that is like, I have big flat walls, big tall flat walls, I'm probably just going to put a permanent fixture on a wall to hang my paintings, because I always paint when they're perfect. I want them perfectly flat, 90 degrees. So I would probably eventually just put something on the wall instead of just even having an easel. So yeah, that makes it what's awful about that, Chewy, is that you have to focus on other bullshit outside of the painting itself, and I hate that. Sounds good, but like a bit of angle. Like someone will have slots. Well, yeah, I mean, you could always do that, Jane. I like it to be flat, so when I walk away, I could see the angle can be fine if you're up close at the same position every time. But then you know, your perspective is going to change as you move farther away, the angle at which you're looking at it, right? When it's flat, you pretty much always have a pretty, like, good anchor point at which you're looking at the painting if you move back and forth. Bish! Well, you got to change that, at Monica. Well, you're going to have to talk about that with HR, Monica. I'm powerless compared to HR. Do you, Schmuckleberry? No, Maddie is in HR. I don't know the names of HR. They're a very secret organization. Pickles was a part of HR for some period of time. But they're a very evil organization with the I'm Painting Badly brand. I have a cheap aluminum one that I use for plein air painting, Snark. I have that one, but that's not what I want for this. Plein air, you have to make more concessions. I don't want to make those concessions in the studio. Yeah, I didn't see so many of those, Schmuckleberry, when I ordered it. I saw a good mix that, like, you know... But, you know, this one just fucking sucks. And I hate having to, like... You know what I hate more than anything, Snark, is that Schmuckleberry, is that I have to worry about this bullshit. Like, I'm already doing all this setup shit. I'm, like, buying shit for setups all the time. My place is my studio is a goddamn mess because I have stuff that I'm, like, going to be using or building now. And then it's like, okay, now my easel's acting up, and now, like, okay, I had to do that today or figure this out and spend, like, half an hour on it when I was racing around. Pissed me off. Yeah, you should, Snark.
Okay, Kyle, you're being a negative Nancy. Stop it. Okay, unless you want everyone to call you negative Nancy.
I am, Monica. But I can't afford the easel that I want, so I'll make do. Just another thing to deal with. I mean, it is a first world problem, Monica, but it's still a problem that is frustrating, right? I could still be annoyed by stuff. I know, I just keep on refusing to sell paintings, Maddie. That's true, Snark. I might, Monica. I will not stop complaining. Goddamn it. Goddamn it. You're good. You're good. It's not like you complaining about that provided information to us about something. Yeah, I mean, I was gonna tell y'all regardless. I mean, I don't know, you know, here's the thing, right? I know I seem like this super cool chill guy, but it turns out I'm actually quite eccentric. And I also care, I know I don't seem like it, but I care a lot about ethics and good products. Once again, I know this doesn't seem to be the case. All right? I know I have this aura of coolness and invincibility. But I actually use the things I buy. I am an alpha male. I am now a Mormon alpha male. A red-pilled Mormon alpha male. I tell you when you started this that you won't make any money to do this. Why do you think I'm streaming Omizu? I think, you know, I think I'll be able to. Yep. And so all of you watching are now Mormon alpha males, lone wolf, red-pilled Mormon alpha males in my pack of lone wolves alpha males. But I'm the alpha male of that pack. Yeah, sorry. I mean, I don't want this to be a stream where I'm just always fucking complaining. But we're in a we're in and operating in a very predatory bullshit industry, aka the art industry, and a lot of people aren't angry enough for that industry. Yep, we're in Sean, you are now a red-pilled Mormon alpha male lone wolf in my wolf pack of lone wolves. Oh, so I was just doing consumerism wrong, Monica. I should buy stuff and not use it. Okay. Nope. You're taking the red pills should have came in. They came in from Russia. Salt, you should have taken your red pills by now. If not, I'll have them send you 2 so you can take 2. You know, it's kind of a weird feeling that, like, I'm a better consumer, Monica. Is that, like, basically all the food I buy, I eat now. Like, I haven't had vegetables go bad on me, or, like, fruits or vegetables go bad on me in a long time. You know, like, shit, like, or, like, food that you made go bad. That hasn't happened to me in, like, a year and a half. I did too, Omis. I sell some. Not enough, though. Shit. Monica, you're in on this. You're the plug. You're the European plug for this. Oh my God! Amanda! It very much is, Sean. Well, and that's why companies release all those bullshit colors of mixed colors, you know? Hello, hello? Yeah, the prices are bullshit. The shit that I'm offended by all of it. That's why you all should buy badly made paints where I don't fuck you coming and going. That's our new company motto. I could try. Omizu. Good point, Sean. That's why my wealthy patron is going to be Bill Gates. Bill Gates, everybody. I'm sure he's a good one. I'm sure he's not a pedophile who ruined the United States educational system. Yep, died of cancer. I saw that too. Didn't he though? Wasn't he a late in life Trumper, Amanda? Or was that like the saving? Like there was like one of those guys who was like 3 Doors Down, who might have been a Trumper. Possibly. Was it Snark? I mean, it was fine. It was never like a big thing for me. I don't know. I've never been that fanatical about, like, I love David Bowie here, but it's not like I listen to David Bowie every day. I don't listen to music. I'm a podcast guy. You were an emo teen? How much money do you have to donate to charity to redeem for being a PDF file? You don't probably need to donate to charity. You just need to have, you just need to have enough friends that are pedophiles where you cover for each other. Or one is actively blackmailing you. So you have to have enough money or influence that you can be blackmailed. If you got any good videos, I know the name Monica, but I don't remember what he did. I know the name though. Who just messaged me? Okay, all right. Thank you, Monica. Thank you. Oh, they did. Yep. Okay. So he was a Trumper. That's what. Yeah. Okay. That's where I recall hearing it now, Monica. I mean, not Monica. Amanda. Hi, I'm Amanda. I'm pretty good at, like I said, Sean, at using what I buy. I don't have a lot of shit that I bought and just didn't use, at least art supplies wise. There was some, like when I first started with painting and I didn't know much about paint, of course. Once I started making my own paint though, Sean, like any of the cheap pigments I bought to test out, I still made paint with them. But you know, I'm not going to buy them and pass, so I still have some useless pigments lying around, but I did use them. Not all of it. I have canvases lying around, but I need canvases, right, for painting, so, you know. I mean, for acrylic, I don't know what mediums people... I know there's like retarder, there's like, you know, some other ones, but I think mediums are the biggest scam in the art, in the oil, for sure. In the oil painting industry, I think mediums are the single biggest scam. Their markups on those are probably over 1,000%. Yeah, see, Amanda, I'm not like that. I get obsessed with something, and that's what it is. Like I have a computer, like I'll have a computer game that I play, right, or stuff I do. I dick around on my computer, but like physically, I generally only just have one. But like, you know, my painting hobby has had me have to do a lot of like now arts and crafts, figuring out lighting, a lot of research, paint making now. So it gives me a lot of avenues to kind of be a goddamn pervert maniac, you know? Well, I'm not talking about that, but I'm telling you, mediums are generally huge scams. The amount that like Winsor & Newton, or like when you go to an art store and you look at mineral spirits and how much they charge for it, versus they probably buy like 5,000 gallons at a time for like, I mean, probably like 5 cents a gallon, and they're probably selling it to you for $40 a gallon. Yeah, I get that, Amanda. I mean, and there's something, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, you know, it's just different. Add a little bit more lead white to this. Okay. So I added a little bit of white and yellow to this black, so I'm not using straight up black, and there's a reason. I'm testing out some stuff. Also, what I'm looking at is not straight up black. So, so I added lead white instead of titanium white. Why? Because lead white will help make this more archival. Okay. And it won't be as massive as a change. And then it will help with, like I said, the archival properties of the base layer. It will also help the drying time. Smoking. Oh, did I change it how I was looking at this, or do I want that, like, did I come to... Something like that. Did I just fuck this up a little bit? Okay, so that ridge, I fucked that up. Okay. I might have to bring out another... Bring another brush for this. All right. Might make the rest of the 26 drawing only. I say, Sean, instead of making like a vow like that, I would just say, go wherever the wind may take you, bud. I don't think you need to make it like, I need to do this. Because who knows what, you know, if in 3 months you're like, this is fucking miserable, you know? What are you talking about? Em, you're in the perfect spot right now. You couldn't be in a better spot. Well, that's the thing, Sean. If you miss it, why be a monk? All right? Are you going to join a monastery? Are you going to take a vow? Just do what you want when you want to do it. And work on the things you want to work on when you do it. As a 4-time failed Jesuit monk, I know this. They just kept on giving me more tries. Apparently they're really desperate for members. Stop being reasonable. I will not! Well, how was I supposed to know after 4 times that they didn't allow my documentaries and violent video games, and I couldn't talk, and I had to eat this shitty stuff every day? How was I supposed to know that I couldn't do those things by joining the Jesuit monks? That close. Something like that. I think I made the ass too big. I think I made it all too big. Oh, I shouldn't have come down that far. Fuck. Like, the ass might need to go all the way over there. dishonorable. 4 times from the Jesuit monkhood. And then they wouldn't let me in for the 5th. Then I got excommunicated from the Mormon Church, the Jehovah's Witnesses, Scientologists, several Baptist churches, the Mennonites. I'm doing well, Yambri. How are you doing? Yeah, well, I didn't get rejected from the Rapture. I got accepted, but then I got, remember I got kicked out for spilling soup on the wrong person's shoes at the first Rapture buffet. Oh, fantastic, Yambri. Good to hear. I'm glad that's, things are getting back to normal a bit. No, you wouldn't believe who was a part of the Rapture, Monica. Surprising amount of shitheads. Who would get that angry when you spill a bowl of lobster bisque on somebody's shoes? Who would get that angry? Definitely, Yambri. I mean, it's just comfort, right? It's just living with comfort and, modern amenities. It's fucking annoying that it took that long. Is Tennessee's infrastructure that bad, Yambri? I apologize if I outed your state. And you care about that, actually. I should have asked. So, rephrase, retract. Is your state that bad with infrastructure? I'm sorry, Yambri. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to file a complaint, though. You have to file a complaint to HR. Yep, we doxed Yambri, everybody. But that was your fault that time. I bet. I mean, it's been, what, a week and a half? 2 weeks? This is 36 by 24 inches, Sean. For you non-Americans, that's 60 by 90 centimeters approximately. It was an extraordinary event, but a week and a half is fucking ridiculous. Yambri, in Illinois, you know what? From my entire life between Illinois and Wisconsin, you know what the longest I've ever had a power outage for has been? The longest power outage I've ever had, or cable and internet outage. The longest I've personally ever experienced for power outage, I think, was 6 hours. And for internet, it was like 8 hours. And that was because of work that they were doing. So, like, I've gone to sleep, like, where the power went out from a storm for, like, a couple hours, and I woke up, and it was, like, back on. You know, no problem. Really, Amanda? Jesus Christ. I could not imagine. Like, you know how, like, there are people who just have generators for that shit? None of my neighbors, or, like, that was, like, never a concern. At least in the Chicagoland area. I mean, you kind of have to, right, Yambari? Like, tornadoes are one thing. But even then, you should be able to get power. Like, if your home is still fine, you know. Like, you know, I'm still in Illinois, you know. I've had surrounding areas have, like, tornado issues, but just, like, you know, and huge storms, mind you. But we, like, every year we have, like, a big, like we'll at least have a week of, like, huge cold, you know? That's crazy, Maddie. That's true, Penman. I don't know. I know, it really, like, I guess I'm spoiled from where I've grown up, and Illinois has, like, been on top of that shit for a long time. And maybe because it's the influence of Chicago and how important the infrastructure is, you know. And I live fairly close to, like, O'Hare Airport, you know, like half hour, you know. So, like, some other major things that, like, yeah, you can't really lose power at places like this. So maybe the infrastructure was way more robust. But I hear these, like, horror stories, like Connecticut has this problem a lot too. Like, a lot of East Coast places have this issue. But then I hear people from southern states specifically have a lot of issues with it. Some northern, obviously, too. Chicago's a good place. I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago. Lived in Milwaukee while I went to college. And then, you know, went back to the Chicago suburbs. And then recently moved out to Rockford, which is about another hour west of Chicago. I mean, yeah, like, the big hurricanes, Yambari, are every year. The cold, like... You know, we just had a humongous cold spell, what was it, like 4 years ago? But, you know, it's going to become more frequent because we have an entire political party putting their fucking head in the sand with regards to climate change. Intentionally. Or not even putting their heads in the sand. Just, like, saying it doesn't exist and then going about making it worse on purpose. No worries, Amanda. Oh, did you? That's pretty cool, Sean. Yeah, I would like, you know, if I could afford it and find a place that I want, but I would need like $1 million to find a place I would like in Chicago for at least doing what I want to do or have the setups I want to have set up. But if I could ever afford it, I would like to go back there. I'd like to go back to Milwaukee, which I might be able to find more affordable places. And I like my current place. I want the room I want for a fucking setup. For my setups, I should say. So I need somebody to buy a painting for $3 billion, okay? I need somebody to buy a painting for $3 billion, okay? It will literally solve all of my current problems. Okay, somebody's going to have to bite the bullet on this one. Somebody's going to have to bite the bullet and just do it. All right, so who's going to do it? I would be an awesome billionaire, all right? I assure you. You wouldn't believe the shenanigans I'd be up to. You know what I would legitimately do? And if I had thought about this, if I had, oh shit. Can you hear me now? Sorry, my mic got unplugged. Can you hear me now? Well, one thing I wanted to do, Yanbri, if I ever got rich, was I wanted to start a completely free art store. That'd be also be a part of like where I paint. So like imagine like a shop out front, and it would just be like an 80% markdown, 90% markdown on stuff. And you employ people. But I would do that like by I would say an area that needs it in a city. I haven't heard of that, Yanbri. I'm not aware of what that was. That makes sense, Sean. That stuff happens. Chicago, like, despite what people say about it, Sean, Chicago is a very safe city. People who say shit about Chicago, as far as it being unsafe, have never been in or around or have lived in the city. You know what? I am aware of one in Chicago, Yanbri. I am aware of one, but it's in Chicago. Like, it's a pretty big drive for me. Well, I mean, like, I've been to Chicago, like, hundreds of times in and about, and I've literally never had a safety issue. Now I'm a man, right? I'm a big, strong alpha male man. But nonetheless, like my sister and my niece currently live in downtown Chicago. I've had another sister live there at the same time. My brother works in downtown, and my mom worked in downtown for 25 years, and there's literally never been, like, none of them have ever been mugged or anything like that, at least not what I'm aware of. And I think I would know. Hi, Autonet. Thank you. Yeah. You know, like, and obviously, of course, Amanda, shit like that can and does happen. Oh, you're from Oakland? Oh shit, Sean. So obviously I'm not saying there's no crime, but like, boy, is like the propaganda against Chicago annoying when you know it's just like all just fucking lies from, you know, from shitheads. Yeah, and like statistically it's better, right? But, you know, just like in areas of St. Louis, there's bad areas and there's, you know, fine areas. Gotcha, since 2020. Yeah, you're in Madison. Yeah. Like, Jack of all, I mean, Amanda, I did a college visit at Washington University, St. Louis. And that area was fucking gorgeous. Obviously, that's like a nicer area. But, you know. Did you see him late to the... Interesting, Yambari. Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember where it's at, Amanda. It was fairly close to downtown. St. Louis in Missouri. Like, I believe it was probably within 10 minutes of the Cardinals, you know, the Cardinals ballpark. Because we went to a Cardinals game after that. Dude, the whole country hates California for some fucking reason. Well, every Republican does, at least. Yeah, I've never been, Sean. I've never been. My sister has the law firm she works for has a big office, so she's been there a lot, but she's not a good judge of that shit. Yeah, it was a nice area, Amanda. I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen that campus, but it's fucking gorgeous. That's like one of those sneaky, really good colleges, Amanda. That a lot of people don't know a ton about. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get in. I didn't get in. But I really liked it. I wanted to go there. Yeah. I miss the Bay Area, but it isn't possible there. Yeah, too expensive. It's kind of the height of California's issues. Hi, Chrysalism. Chrysalism. There we go. Well, yeah, Sean, just get a trust fund. God. This is the most annoying part about a big painting is you just got to get paint across so much fucking area. This would be like a good reason to use like a larger just brush, like a paint style, like a home paint style brush, but I don't know how I'd store those. Like, I could put them in a jar of oil, but they need, like, their own jar of oil. And then cleaning them out and getting a clean color would... Well, I guess if you're doing the base layer, it doesn't really fucking matter, but... Yeah, that could be a thing. With some oil. They'd also, if oil did dry in those things, it's not a big deal to clean those fucking things out. Those are robust enough. But I need like a brush like twice the size for large block ends at least. No, I'm not talking about the roller. I'm talking about like the big rectangular bristle brushes, you know. Not a roller. Kind of like the ones that Bob Ross used. But this is why bristle brushes are good, everybody. You could really move paint around. I'm not going to paint in the hand shadow at this go around. God, this color just doesn't look right to me. We're probably going to have to change that. I mean, we're definitely going to have to change that. But I don't care so much about the exacting color here. Just linseed oil and stand oil. Yeah, I saw that. You sent me that, Drez. I took a look. Remember I said they didn't have a lot of them ready to ship. Some are. This one is. This one is taped to another brush. A cheap brush. But other ones are just dowels. Wooden rods. Sean, I don't think it's going to be worth it, bud. Just straight up. Just letting you know. As somebody who investigated it. Well, I hope it works out well. And I hope they could become what Kramer was in New York. That would be very nice. Why do you think that? I think your results will be significantly worse than what you can get at the store, and the cost won't be that much different, Sean. Cobalt violets? So, Sean, I investigated like how to do homemade refined linseed oil. And the process took like a month plus, and it's not going to be as good as mechanical means. And then the money at which you'd have to pay for linseed oil, I just don't. Yeah, once again, I don't think you're going to get results that are good enough for the effort that you put in and money you'd have to pay. OG stand oil was like sun thickened oil. Like there are processes to do stand oil with the sun, Sean. It's trying to achieve the same thing or emulate a similar thing. What's different about him, Sean? I'm curious because, like, my understanding of it was that the sun thickened linseed oil is trying to achieve something similar to stand oil. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm curious what difference are you expecting, or know of. It's just like an older technique on how to do it.
And that's a fact.
Schmuckleberry. All right. Historical paint fact. Let's go with... Let's talk about OG pigments. I have not seen information that supports that. The sun-dried linseed oils or sun bleached, or or whatever, the sun linseed oils, they usually have dryers added to them. So by doing that process, you're not going to be making linseed oil faster drying. For example, stand oil takes longer to dry, even though the drying process is already started. So at least from my understanding, the sun-thickened linseed oil has a lot of use in like the woodworking space, but there's shit added to it to make it dry really quickly. So I don't think that's a process of the sun thickening. Maybe I'm misremembering. It is a possibility. All right. Okay. The OG pigments. All right. So if we're talking about the first pigments that we are aware of that were used, it is predominantly ochres, or stuff that you can pick up off the ground or mine from the ground and apply a binder, which back in like cave paintings was usually saliva. Sometimes it was animal fat, but something that acted as a binder. Well, that's how stand oil is, Sean. Stand oil, they apply heat to start the drying process of the oil, where the oil molecules become larger and absorb, and I forget the actual term for it, or beginning of the polymerization process. That's what stand oil is. It's oil that has gone through the process, has started the drying process already. But when you stop it, or stop the application of heat of it, stuff changes. And stand oil takes longer to dry than regular linseed oil. Stand linseed oil takes longer to dry than linseed oil. All right. Sorry, going back to the OG pigments. So those pigments available were ochres, yellow ochre, red ochre, the whole plethora of ochres that range in colors. They also use charcoal, which is also known as carbon black. They also use soot, which is now modernly known as lamp black. Okay, so ochre, umbers as well, technically, I believe, also appeared, but those were the OG pigments. All right, soot was usually done from burning animal fat, and charcoal was obviously from firewood, stuff like that. But all those cave paintings back in the day did have all those pigments. And it also heavily influenced the cultural impact of pigments across the world. Okay. So one of the big, for Aboriginal tribes in like Australia, and tribes of people in Africa, in Asia, in Australia, one of the most heavily traded products in the history of the world were pigments. Wars were fought over it, huge religious meanings to it, and it usually revolved around ochres. Okay? So if anybody's familiar with the Maasai tribe in Africa, I believe it's the Maasais who paint their skin red. That is from red ochre traditionally. And skin painting, face painting with these pigments was something that was commonly done throughout history for religious ceremonies, as well as obviously some other artworks and so forth. But once again, it was a huge financial commodity. So, like I said, the ochres that were more prized were specifically red that had a shinier, like, glossiness to it. And those actually contained a small amount of mercury in some cases. I found out, at least in the case of the some Australian red ochre. And it really drove, like, a lot of, I'll say, political decisions across the world for a long time. And that carries on throughout history. So, Sean, from my understanding, all oil is acidic. Like, you know, the fatty acids of the oil are what, you know, are what constitutes them. So, I'd have to look into that, because, like, I don't think sun-thickened oil is specifically acidic. I think they all are. It can wet pigment particles better, possibly. Like, I know walnut oil can is a better wetting agent than linseed, for example. I'm not familiar with hydroperoxides. I mean, I'd have to look into it, but I mean, the acidic thing doesn't make sense to me. The wetting sure could be a property, but that's not necessarily like that. I mean, I don't know. That wouldn't be a reason to get it for me, you know, a wetting property, because wetting once the paint's already made is not a big deal. This is AI overview. I'll have to look into the drying time thing, okay? Stand oil does yellow, Sean. Stand oil definitely still yellows. All oil's yellow. Slow dry on heat polymerized oil that creates a smooth. Yeah, I mean, that part, it does smooth out brush strokes. So there's a difference in viscosity is what you're saying. That could be definitely a reason to use it. If it's a slightly... Yeah, all oils do. Yeah. Thank you, Oxford. Sean, I will investigate it for you, bud. All right. I'll learn about it. Hi, Burger. How you doing, bud? Long time no see, Burger. But Sean, I'll do some digging. That's too blue. Yeah, and I always thought sun thickened dried faster because of the additives, Sean. But that was when I was looking into like hardware store linseed oils and stuff. But Sean, if you were doing that with oils, I think it'd be better to change your pigments. Yeah. Like, if you care about drying time, in my opinion, one of the most effective way to change drying time has been changing your pigments. I mean, it still is Oxford. No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm just saying is like, well, what's the problem with cobalts or umbers or ochres or manganese-based paints? It looks more orange than what I'm doing, I think. Well, that's what I'm saying is you could change your pigments, Sean. So if you use some cobalt pigments in your paintings, what's the hassle with them? I mean, I know that they're usually not that strong of pigments, at least some of them. But like, you know, cobalt pigments are all fairly fast drying. Umbers are fast drying. A lot of iron oxides are faster drying, I believe. Have to double check that one maybe. This new mic stands a pain in my balls. Hello, so what are the faster drying pigments? The fastest drying pigment that I'm aware of extruders is lead white. Cobalt pigments dry fast. Umbers, stuff with manganese. Manganese is considered a drying agent. Also, I have noticed anecdotally that pyrroles dry pretty fast. Pyrroles dry pretty fast. I know, you know, you're talking about China dryer, Sean, but I'm also talking about, just like I said, buying pigments, colors that you use that, you know, dry faster. There's also the slow drying, there's the slow, but, you know, counteract the extruders with the slow drying pigments. Lamp black is the slowest drying pigment. Titanium white is a slow drying pigment, and cadmiums are slow drying pigments. Okay, that's why I think a lot of people. I don't use cadmiums, and I use lead white, so it balances out the titanium white that's on my palette. But this will be dry to the touch tomorrow. Well, you know, if you use like burnt umber, so like Sean, if you did an underpainting with titanium white and burnt umber, that will still dry relatively fast. Right? For example, Sean, because the manganese, right? Obviously the mediums can change that. And I'll investigate the sun thickened linseed oil for you, but like I said, having investigated doing stuff with oils, I don't think it's going to be a fruitful endeavor. But I'll investigate it for you. I'll know, so I'm not speaking out of my ass. Completely, at least. Because my understanding of sun thickened linseed oil might have to change. Because yeah, obviously the sun will. Well, from what I've heard, the sun does different things to the oil, right? But I'd be surprised if the properties changed that much. So like I said, in extruders and stuff like that, if I'm advocating, if you want your stuff to dry faster, then I think the best route is to change your pigments. You know, I have to do so much searching around crystallism. I have to do so much searching around that it takes me a long time to find these reference pictures. It takes me so long to find these reference pictures. It's odd where to find them. You have to go on some sketchy websites, That's part of the camera setting, and this is the first layer. This is just the first layer, crystallism. Oh yeah, because cameras change everything, crystallism. Cameras change everything. Most of the things. Poppy oils is okay. All right, shut up, Drez. Don't use poppy oil. Crystallism. Yeah, I paint from life on pretty much all my shit. You saw me doing portraits, and just know that why I don't use photos or try not to use photos is because the camera changes the color, exposure, the contrast, the saturation. It changes all that. So crystallism, you want me to tell you something you could try so you could see this firsthand? Humor. I don't recommend that in any capacity, Jumer. I do not recommend that. I don't in any capacity. That is a dangerous thing to do with your paintings. All right, crystallism. Look at something colorful in your room. Just look at something colorful in the room you're sitting in. Take your cell phone, snap a picture of it. Okay? Don't do anything else with that photo. Look at the photo, right? Take the camera, look at the photo, then look at the thing, look at the photo, and you'll see how much that your camera just changed those colors. And the darks are darker, the brights will be brighter. Some colors might be more saturated than others. Yep. Why photos are bullshit. Yep, photos are bullshit. Paint from life. Bake some lead white, then bake. Jumer, I'm not even doing it for those reasons. I'm saying is if you want to fuck up a painting's oil film, that's what you do. Extruders, this camera right here that you're seeing is a Sony A6300. This is a Sony A6300, so like this was a $1,000 camera back in the day. And I still have tons of color issues with this. There's two aspects of this extruders. Is not only is the camera doing stuff, like how it sees it and its ability to understand the colors, but also extruders, the other thing is you're looking at it through a monitor that's also changing it. How you see the light coming off of a monitor is different than what you see from real life. So remember this, everybody. Monitors are backlit, so they shoot light, the colored light, directly at you. What you see in real life is reflected light. So light that bounces around off the thing and back into your eye. The nature in which you see the light and like how it exists is different. So I can't advocate, I will always advocate for painting from life. If you're trying to see colors, learn how to replicate colors, paint from life. Or else. Drez, never say that in front of me again. God damn it, Sean. Now I'm gonna go down a fucking rabbit hole tonight. You son of a bitch. You son of a bitch, Sean.
Wow, wow, wow.
Oh, hi, hi, Jan. How you doing, bud? You're a fucker. Every time, Sean. But Sean, I do appreciate you challenging me on this shit, because this will make me, this will make me learn, and I don't like speaking out of my ass. I can only speak on stuff I've heard about it, before. Hit his ass. Shut up, Maddie. How you doing, Jan?
Oh, brother, this guy.
You stink, Silver Grains. Nice to see you, Silver. I hope you're well. Back at some larger canvas boards to try and paint something. Nice, crystallism. That's good. Influencer drama. What influencer drama? Inches or centimeters? I'm guessing centimeters, right? I'm doing all right, Jan. Jan, oh yeah, so just so everybody knows, you're gonna have to order your plane tickets now, because I did get accepted to my first art festival. Okay, so everybody has to get your plane tickets right now. All right, it is mandatory. And I'll do my research on, like I said, I will see if you can make it. If there's a reasonable way to make it, I'll let you know, and I'll research it. 50 by 60, okay. That's a good size, though. Nope, Jan, in Whitefish Bay, Wisconsin. Just north of Milwaukee. All right, El Miniaturista. I didn't know you were El Miniaturista. No, there's a fucker online, Sean, who does miniature paintings, who dabbles in oil, and then he says all this, like, bullshit in his, like, little videos. He's a real son of a bitch. Whitefish Bay, okay? So everybody, it is required, if you are watching this stream or have ever watched the stream, you should get your plane tickets now to the Whitefish. It's on July 11th and 12th. Attendance is mandatory. No, it's in Wisconsin, just north of Milwaukee. I know. It's because somebody who they view with authority said it, Drez, obviously.
Grab the children! Save the children!
I will not. Chris Elsom, you have to get your plane tickets now. Medium of the gods. Fuck that, Sean. You know that's not true. If anybody would be a pompous painter, it would be the gods. You're telling me Hades uses acrylics? Or Poseidon uses acrylics? Bullshit. Bullshit. Nope, Chrysalism. You're gonna have to do it. Who's your arch nemesis in Wisconsin, Sashi? Well, he can go fuck himself, Jan. He can go shit his pants and cry, because I'm not gonna stop. Did you see that video of him shitting his pants in front of everybody, Jan? It was great. Oh, it was wonderful. Alright. Fine. Keep your secrets, then. Yeah, Schmuckleberry, he was like sitting in a chair, and then the mic picked up on a fart noise, no joke. And then like there was like a couple women who were making faces behind him, and I think one even held her nose. And then they shoot everybody out. Like he didn't take questions, which in the context of what he was doing, he like always does. Oh, apparently he's been doing it since the 90s, Sashi. People have talked about it. So people on Apprentice said he was doing it during his first term. Like, talked about it during his first term. They even named the guy who, like, had to change him regularly. Yeah, well, I thought it was Tom Arnold, Jan, who was a contestant on The Apprentice. No, he only ate he notoriously only eats McDonald's, Schmuckleberry. No, Sashi, the story is apparently a child who he was assaulting sexually shoved a tent pole up his ass. And since then, he's had problems shitting his pants, and he's been wearing his diapers ever since. That is true, Jan. That's the story. Yeah, a tent pole. A literal tent pole. That's the story that came out. The person is Sasha Riley, was the one who talked about this. I hope it's true. Sasha Riley. Is it Sasha Riley or Sasha Gaines? It's one of those two. Sasha Gaines or Sasha Riley, something like that. I got really excited because of a conspiracy theory I heard on TikTok the other day, but then I heard there was no evidence for it. It would have been so awesome if this was true, everybody. I was excited for a moment. Who wants to guess a conspiracy theory I heard? that got me like excited for drama. It was a juicy one if it's true. But apparently there was no evidence for it. There's no like, you know, confirmation of it. And it is something confirmable. I need to delete it. I'm probably going to be deleting it soon. Yeah, it's not a lot. Yeah, like they apparently there's still tons left. Well, you know, Epstein was in the market of blackmail, right? He notoriously invited like influential people, artists, professors. You know, did it on purpose. All right, Manny. Ooh. But yeah, that was part of Epstein's like whole thing. That's why you see a lot of like academics involved in it too. Well, because they're fucking billionaire, like, you know, rich ass people who also have like government backing in some cases, so. Yeah, no, it's weird how accurate in some cases the conspiracy theories of like Pizzagate and QAnon kind of was, but it was just the completely wrong, you know, they were accusing the other side of doing it when it was just all fucking like Republicans and billionaires who supported the Republicans. You know who I didn't see in the files, everybody? George Soros. I didn't hear anything about George Soros being in the files, huh? Isn't that weird, everybody? Not that he's a good guy himself, but boy, did I not hear anything about George Soros. They emailed each other in literally the start of like QAnon, and like things to amplify on the websites were literally discussed between Epstein and the creator of 4chan. And QAnon, Sashi. And QAnon. All right, Sashi, have a good one. I'm probably actually not going that much longer today. Just FYI, just because we're just doing the blocking. I'm not going to do the hand shadow yet. But we probably got like another 40 minutes or something. What? I'm sorry, Manny. Oh my God. What the fuck? So, Snarek, apparently the Princess of Norway was, like, obsessed with Epstein as, like, a person. I mean, it's crazy. Like, it's literally all these people should go to fucking jail, but because of, like, the nature of society and fucking bootlickers who are trying to get some of that, like, life, right? Favors are called in. Maybe other blackmail is threatened. It's fucking gross, yo. Shooby-doo-bop-ba. All right, so all right, Sashi left. So Snark, did you get your have you gotten your plane tickets yet? July 11th and 12th, all right? Everybody, it's mandatory. It is mandatory, everybody. I would like to hone in on this color a little bit. Doing all right, Todd. Yeah, I agree. I mean, other countries, people are facing like some repercussions, but you know, in the United States, it's like it's apocalyptic for the controlling powers right now. If those people face consequences, right? Well, I hope if Europe can bust open that shit. Frankly, I have a lot more faith in their justice system for putting the screws on these people. Like, I was super happy. I believe it was France raided the XAI or the Twitter office, right? Because of all the fucked up images that shit's producing, and they're not doing anything about it. They're not moderating. They're not stopping it. They're not putting controls on it. Very much so. Fuck Elon, fuck Twitter. Yep. They're all pieces of shit. Yeah, but you know, remember who owned Microsoft during that period of time. Oh, by the way, everybody, who here loves Fortnite? Who here loves Fortnite, everybody? I know Jan loves Fortnite. Who loves Fortnite? I got some great news. Nope, we're talking that Jeffrey Epstein's favorite game was Fortnite, and he played regularly. There's even receipts for him buying V-Bucks in the Epstein files. You're welcome, everybody. You're welcome. Nope, Jeffrey Epstein's favorite video game was Fortnite. Oh, you know what that fucker also apparently had a part in? Yeah, right. That's a good one, Dress. Apparently, Jeffrey Epstein was part of the original idea for the first microtransactions in games, because one of the OG creators of, I believe, Modern Warfare partaked in his island, and apparently Jeffrey Epstein gave him the idea for microtransactions back in, like, 2012. So there you go, everybody. No, but you still gotta tell them. I guess the modern, like, I watched a video on it yesterday, Carlos. Oh, horse armor. Is that technically a microtransaction, though, in the context of how it's done, like, or in the modern way? Not sure, Todd. But apparently he had talks with the guy who was, like, in charge of Modern Warfare 2.
Fuck those fucking fuckers.
I hope you
thank you, Tommy.
the support badly. I hope you enjoy this amount of support. I would
well,
rather
thank you,
support
Tommy.
You than save it for a new game.
We love the 1-bits here. Hi, Shasta. Yeah. I think it was more of that, Snark, right? Also, like, putting consumables or pay-to-win aspects. Literally, I saw a video on it of, like I said, Epstein discussing it with, like, a huge guy in the gaming industry. Yeah. Okay. So what I saw was much after 2006, but is that I don't think that necessarily like is a microtransaction, right? In the context of modernity. That's true, Shasta. Oh, that's pretty. I kind of miss those days of the personal servers and shit like that. You know, that's where Elon Musk said he was one of the best Quake players back in the day, because he was in one of those like paid servers with all of like the pros, but it's just because he paid to get in there. There's a guy literally saying he fucking sucked. Like the best Quake player of all time. Yeah, it was good stuff, Snark. Some of the most fun I had as a kid, there was a random computer cafe in, like, they're not in Illinois, like, they're very uncommon in Illinois, but one popped up right by where I lived. And it was open for like 5 or 6 years, and you got to go there and play LAN Counter-Strike with like good computers and internet back in like, I think it was like 2004. No, it was earlier than that. It was like 2001 and 2003 time period that this thing was around. Oh. Whenever I had a day off, I'd like beg my parents to give me like $20 to go there. That's awesome, sir. Sounds like a good time. Yeah. I remember that, dude. Or and like then when you were sleeping, the fucking download stopped, or it stopped being seeded. Sim points launch. I didn't know that was around back then. I'll have to rewatch the video, but apparently, so maybe it was for Modern Warfare or the first-person shooter games that this came up with. Yeah, right? Okay. Maybe it was with just that company or something like that, but I wouldn't count horse armor because I don't think that meets the minimum standard of what like constitutes as a microtransaction. But when did WoW start doing shit though? WoW is the one I'm curious on. Well, WoW doesn't really do, they just like they sell bigger content, right? They try and sell mounts as content. Or they do, right? Yeah, like that's the thing. But like Todd, was that for like did most games have shit you could buy for those points or was it for like getting like Xbox Live itself? Cuz I remember I had Xbox Live for 1 month when it was early. And I did it to play a game online and I think I had to get Xbox points for that. I have a vague memory of that. I could be wrong. I mean, everything is just bullshit, Snark. It's just, everything is just the fucking screw you out of any money you could possibly have. Gotcha. Oh my god, Snark! Fuck us hard! At least in indie games and shit are good in Steam. Yeah, no, Steam is one of the better good faith actors in that industry. Possibly. Okay. Like use like no blues and magentas, but we can play around with some stuff here. Yeah, that wasn't like, yeah, 07. I remember the Zune shit, like 07, 08. I'm going to Snark, but you know, you just do it. You just, I just like when I know the painting can't really be done in one session, I like just doing like this blocking like this, where you keep it simple. And yeah, having this dry will make it easier. Yeah, that makes sense. But I think that was more geared towards the Todd, I think in Microsoft's specific case, that was more geared towards buying movies and music and being in that market because that's when iTunes was really taking off as a storefront, you know? So I don't think that had the intention necessarily in the intention of microtransactions in video games. Well, I could do the red. Like it's just more of like it's not like it's not something I just like need to do right now. Because one thing I also like to do is like try and make sure that like my dimensions are in line with what I'm looking at. enough, but also be flexible enough for the changes. Yeah. So I could definitely paint over this, no problem. I just it like painting over black is is generally a bigger painting ass than painting over a brighter color, but this isn't even that bright, to be honest with you. It's not bad at all. I think people, because they're used to acrylics and painting dry over dry, are inherently scared of the differences. I could. That's true. Could be a very, I mean, theoretically this could work as a landscape too, couldn't it? If I could set it up. Gotcha. A bit. It does look like a big white moon a bit. Huh. All right. I feel like I don't have the ash shape yet, so let's fix that while we got the paint and time. Like, does it need to come in more still like that? We're gonna have to do some setups on the diptych, the second painting for this. We have to do the pervert painting. Or the perverts in the corner. Is that ass position where I want it to be? Who's a professional of asses here? Who's the ass professional? Excuse me, may I ask you a question? Maybe. Well, I'm cropping it myself, but it's not. I'm not working off the photo, Jumer. I'm not working off the photo, bud. I'm working off of this. Like, if I'm trying to get my view, it'd probably be closer to something like... What I'm seeing is probably somewhere close to this. It's actually probably closer to this. That's something that's a little off. Okay, I see something that... Because, like, this ass doesn't start... It's, like, comes down at an angle. This angle... Does this need to come up higher as well? Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a lot more research on butts tonight. A lot more. Maybe for hours. I really got to figure this one out, everybody. It did, Snarg. Well, it is ovalish. And I'm probably making it more circular than it is from what I'm seeing it. Because I have, Jumer, I have the light coming in from this direction. I should be careful not doing that. It is going from left to right slightly. And I did that for the effect of the shadow. But I could keep it more circular, or I could make it ovalish as well. Like if I'm accounting for the oval that I see... Like, it would cut, like, this side is cut down a little bit more. And then this comes up a little bit less circular. But the question is, do I try and keep that as a firm circle or not? All right. Do I need to do anything with this else today? I'm the painter, Jumer, not the artist. I'm a fartist, not an artist. I think, I mean, this painting isn't that challenging. But because once I clear up the ass position, it'll just be kind of like making the contrast of the hand really stand out. But I guess it's time to clean up. I've used a good amount of the paint too. I don't have any white left. I have barely any yellow and red. So I know not a super long stream, but we'll be back on Monday. We'll be back on Monday. Tomorrow there's no stream because of you know, everybody obviously is going to be watching the Kid Rock music festival. So obviously there's going to be no stream tomorrow. All right, we have to watch We obviously have to support our musicians and artists. Okay? We obviously have to watch that. So, next stream will be Monday. Exactly, Snark. We have to support Kid Rock in all of their endeavors, okay? You know, I'm actually excited to hear his stuff. I've only heard his one of his more popular songs. It's generally a genre I don't pay attention to. But boy, am I happy he was chosen for the Super Bowl. Interesting. All right, cleaning up. So sorry for the shorter stream, but I've actually had to do a lot of work for this today. So I'm actually happy that it was a shorter painting session. Thank you, Snark. Thanks for hanging out, bud. And don't forget, everybody, to buy your plane tickets today, okay? July 11th and 12th. The Whitefish Bay Art Festival just north of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Everyone who watched the stream or even viewed it for a few seconds has to attend and buy 2 paintings. Okay? At the art fair prices, which are going to be inflated. All right, so get your plane tickets today, everybody. Now, I won't say hi to you. I'll just say, okay, so you're buying this. This is what it costs. And I'm not going to say anything else, okay? I won't talk with any of you. Very beta. Good callback, Yambury. Good callback. And I will. You can count on it. All right. And now, like, everybody's still here. Time to wipe the D. Time to wipe that D. Live and uncensored. Average artist behavior. True. True, Sean. True, Shasta. That's true. Do I have... Oh, my God. I'd love to have the McNasty clan at the art fair, Shasta.
Boo this man!
Don't you boo me. Oh, this is sick. Jesus Christ. No, that'd be the last thing I'd want to use as an oil ground, Sean. Last thing I'd want. Okay. At best, I'd put it in a jar and have a neutral grate. But I still don't want to use semi-dried paint. All right. Let's find somebody to raid. Don't you want somebody to raid? Let's see. Let's see. Oh, blue Skittles on. Pinions on. Let's raid Skittle. All right, we're going to raid a blue Skittle. All right, everybody. Have a good night. Greenbag, I'll see you in hell. Next stream is, like I said, is going to be on... next stream is going to be on Monday. Enjoy the Kid Rock Music Festival tomorrow, everybody. I know the world's going to be watching. Maddie, Nini. Yeah. If anybody needs anything, message me on the Discord. Join the Discord to see if you want to see updates on my next stream and other random shit. Thank you for hanging out, Yanbury. Glad things are getting back to normal for you. Thank you, Shasta, Maddie, Nini, Sean, Omizu, Drez, Snark. Have all good nights. And yeah. Till next time. On the next episode of I'm Painting Badly. All right, early end, but just a block in for today. We'll probably finish this on Monday. I think I'm finishing this on Monday. So if you want to see the exciting conclusion, check out then. See ya.